What is up, podcast? Welcome back to Paradise on Fire, back to the original trio. And we're still figuring out what we're talking about when starting off this episode. But we figured it out.
I'm kind of sad that Courtney's not here.
I know.
I liked having another girl. I can't lie.
If we could have this set up eventually, if Matt gets over here, if the boards are open, and we had like
A round
proper
table.
mics and a round table and like a separate camera, just talking face to face, that'd be so sick.
Yeah.
Even if we had like an actual camera on each person too, or like two of us at a time, just so it's like better quality and more production.
That's what they do in like real things, right? Because
Yeah.
one person's talking, it's like just them.
Yeah, then they cut back and forth.
I watched 3 girls. I can't remember. No, not Morning Toast. I don't know who they are, but their setup is so cool. They're just like sitting in like comfy chairs around a coffee table, and it's like
Holding a mic, or
no, there's like, is it a boom mic? It's mics that like hang.
like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much. I feel like it looks so good. I love it.
That's cool. Yeah, eventually.
But like this works for now.
When we build our own gym and our own office, we'll put it in there.
In the back of the gym.
Yeah. But yeah, so as per usual, we shall start with our peach in our pit. We're gonna throw Melissa under the bus and make her go first.
Okay, so I'll start with my peach because it's shorter, but we booked a vacation and I'm really excited about it. It's a really nice resort and we like upgraded our room to a swim out suite, which I've never stayed in before. So I'm really excited. We're going right from the Olympia. So it's going to be like Christmas trip, which is kind of strange, but it's better than coming home and having to quarantine for 14 days during Christmas.
If we even have to anymore.
Yeah. Can you imagine? And then we don't see mom and dad. I feel bad because like Christmas with our family's so big. And mom and dad can't come to Mexico because of their dogs. So we're actually going to be separate. But we'll just have to do like Christmas on January 25th or something.
Yeah. And
pretend that it's,
Yeah.
So that was booked this morning finally. So I'm very excited about that. I don't really know what my pit is.
Is it like Talum area or whatever that is? Like we're in Mexico.
I think it's Cancun.
Okay.
We're not this close to say.
Yeah.
You want to show up.
I think it's Cancun. Honestly, I'm not even going to try to pronounce what the actual like area is because I'll butcher it and sound like an idiot.
Don't say the resort.
Yeah, no, I won't say the resort.
We're actually going to China. There.
My pit, I mean, it's between my cupboards again because they haven't been resolved.
Not fixed.
Not fixed. And can you hear Doug? Probably.
Yeah.
And I think we're honestly just gonna have to pay the extra money, which is super frustrating, but that's that. But I also had like a day yesterday where I was taking everything personally, which is pretty, I don't feel like I take things super personally. I don't know, but like Ian was giving constructive criticism about like business shit, you know what I mean? Like things that I should be able to hear. And I was like being a sensitive Susan. So
I told her today when she came over.
And then I talked to Christopher, he said the exact same thing. And I like kind of like, I was like, Ian said this yesterday and I got like so like it wasn't even mad, my feelings were just hurt. I was like, you don't believe in me, you know, like when he was just trying to talk it out like in the business sense. So sorry Ian, I love you, but
did you just like wake up that way yesterday?
I think I'm PMSing. I don't want to use that as an excuse because I don't like that. But like if I stopped like right after and I was like, fuck, I'm just being sensitive. But like it's probably something like that.
Do you have a good excuse? It's true though.
Listen, I think it's an excuse if you act like that and then say, well, I'm PMSing, I'm allowed to act like that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't do that. I try to be like, why am I feeling this way? Because it's out of my normal. And then if that's a reason, then no, you're right, it's not an excuse. But then like still change your behavior, you know what I mean? Be like, okay, this is probably why I feel this way.
Like admit you're overreacting.
Yeah, or same thing, that's like a lot of girls with check-ins from the challenge have been saying like, oh, I'm on my period. I had to eat chocolate. And I'm like, no, you didn't. It's not like that fixes all the symptoms. But like for me, if I'm having weird cravings, I'm like, oh, that's why. And then I just like don't succumb to them. It's kind of like the same idea, you know.
Just throw in some chocolate.
I had to have chocolate.
Had to.
Let me tell that to Ian.
I feel like someone said that once though. They were like, yeah, if you have dark chocolate, it will like help your.
I've heard that somewhere.
Maybe it's true. I don't know, but you probably have to eat like 90% pure cocoa and it probably tastes like shit.
Probably doesn't actually do shit either.
Yeah.
No. I think it's just all mental state, obviously.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Did you get a good cry in yesterday?
No. It takes a lot more than that to make me cry, to be honest. And it's usually not like me feeling a type of way that makes me cry. It's usually like
Someone else?
empathy that makes me cry. Yeah.
Well,
But yeah, that's my life in a nutshell this week. Not very excited.
yeah.
Mexico's exciting.
Mexico's gonna be so fucking fun.
Yeah, that's fun. But I will get into my peach this week. We had a successful launch with the clothing, so I was just packing a lot of stuff like with that stuff. But I did make it to a pumpkin farm. I guess that's what they are, and I got this awesome pumpkin.
We haven't seen this yet.
Look at that. That's like a Google image pumpkin. Come on.
Oh my god.
Oh, I thought you carved it.
Keep twisting it. I need to see all the way.
No, not the back. You can't see the back.
That's just I literally thought you carved a pumpkin. We're proud of your work.
Oh no, I can't do that. I'm not artsy.
Are you gonna carve it?
Probably, but it'll just ruin the entire pumpkin.
What are you gonna carve into it?
A ghost.
The ghost. A smiley face.
Oh, that's so.
A self-portrait of Christopher.
You're hitting my favorite classic pose.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. No, but it was fun. I did not realize that it literally went from like 70 degrees last week to like 50 or 40. So like we were all worried about like the rain and everything. So like we were like, oh, like we just need to go there beforehand, not thinking like we need like jackets and stuff. So like we got there and they take you on these it's a really big farm, so they take you on tractors to different fields and everything. And by like we got to the pumpkins first. So now I have to carry this 25-pound pumpkin everywhere for like 4 hours, and I'm just over it. And then we got to like the apple picking area. We like literally got off the truck, looked at each other like, no, we're leaving. And then we left.
Too tired, too cold.
Yeah.
Being cold sucks though.
Yeah.
I would never.
It was rough.
Did you get any treats?
What did I do? Oh, we went to Cheesecake Factory like later on.
Oh, that's not as good.
I love
last year when I went to a pumpkin patch with Courtney in Chicago or whatever, with her and her little brother, it was like the fucking craziest bakery with like apple pies.
Oh yeah.
Pumpkin pies and all that shit. And I bought a bunch of them. I got a rhubarb pie there and everything. A slice.
That's
like my favorite thing of fall.
Canada's pumpkin patches don't even have like apple cider.
Really?
No, I shouldn't say Canada. I've been to every one. The ones in Ottawa that I've been into, like there's not even snacks or drinks or anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the one I went to had like a winery section. It had like a store that had like apple cider donuts, apple cider, all the different apples, different pies, different breads.
I'm going to the wrong ones, obviously.
Yeah, that's why I was scared to go this year.
Because it would be too tempting.
Yeah.
You like those type
fall
of
treats?
You like those type of
those
treats.
are really good.
So good.
That's what we should do for January Christmas. Make it Thanksgiving themed.
Our Christmas is normally pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like pumpkin stuff though,
No,
you know.
Courtney, pumpkin bites are fucking.
Okay.
It tastes like cookie dough bites.
Okay, Courtney's gonna make us pumpkin bites for January. We're planning ahead already.
We won't want them by then.
No, we'll totally forget. But that's okay.
The only funny thing was that Kyle, who's 250 pounds, he was there, and they had pony riding, they would not let Kyle on the ponies.
It was there a weight limit, or did he just look too big?
I think he just looked too big. He's like, can I go on the ponies? And they're like, absolutely not, sir.
No.
Hurt the ponies. They'll like bottom out. Just
But like my question to that is like, what happens if like there's an overweight kid that goes
250-pound kid though?
yeah, there would.
I mean, not 250, but I'm sure like if you got up to like 200, the pony would feel it.
What kind of kid that's like young, like under 15, would weigh 200 pounds?
It is America. I don't know.
There's
I probably shouldn't say that. I don't know.
When I played football and I was 12, there was 2 kids on one team that were 250 pounds.
250 pounds.
Yeah, but there was. Yeah.
Were they really tall?
They were pretty tall, but they were overweight. And we were all like, "Oh my god, they're so big!" But like they couldn't move.
Yeah, like what happened if you're like the out of the ordinary, like 6'2", 13-year-old that weighs 250 pounds?
You're probably used to not getting to do a lot of things.
Yeah, take away your whole childhood.
Yeah,
You're not.
Like in this book I read, it was saying how really tall people like in the NBA can't be leaders because they're so used to like being looked at weird. Every time you see someone who's 6'9", wow, you're tall. You play basketball, like
it's
something.
So defining.
All you are is tall.
It's so
they're always too like insecure or like not like sure enough of themselves to like be a leader.
Yeah,
yeah,
I could see that.
Random off topic, but that would suck to be. I mean, unless you're in the NBA making millions of dollars,
then you just deal with
suck it up.
Yeah. And at that point, everyone else is like 6'7". So finally, like, I mean,
you're at home.
Yeah.
Found your home.
Yeah, someone's 6'4" and they're like looking up at
yeah. A normal person, like you wouldn't know like LeBron's like 6'9".
But that's who was it? I looked at someone, we were watching basketball, and I was like, "Why is that guy so short?" And Ian was like, "He's like 6'3", and I was like,
The
"What?
finals?
He looks like a midget."
It's like Rondo on the Lakers.
Yeah,
he looks like a
Rondo's
midget.
looks tiny.
He's 6'1", 6'6". So he is short for that. But
that's
he's my height.
tall.
Yeah, that's what I would look like at the.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Do you have a pit?
The pit would probably be that while we're at the farm, like we wanted to go to the gym after, and then we were gonna go get food, and it was probably like 3:30. But gyms, like because of COVID here, have like closed at like 5, 6 o'clock now. Like they don't, and it was a Sunday, so they normally close earlier anyways. And when we got back to our cars, the car Kyle was in, his battery was just dead. So yeah, so I wanted to call, like it's called AAA. You can call them. They bring their like thing to test the battery, and they like will replace it on the spot. But he was like, no, it's cool. Just jump it, whatever. And he ended up so like where we had to drive for the gym that was like 24/7 gym was closer to like the city. It was called Signature Fitness, which is like an awesome gym. It has like every piece of equipment you could think of. So we're like, cool, we'll go there. But he went to like a surrounding town, which isn't the greatest over there for the car. Yeah. And he's like, oh, I walked into the auto zone, and first of all, he says, like, I stood on like at the desk for 10 minutes while all the people who were in the back saw me, looked at me, and then continued talking to themselves. And then finally, I guess they came up, but he was standing at like not the girl's register, and she was like, you have to come over here for me to help you. And finally he was like, hey, I need a new battery, like can you test it and whatever. She goes, yeah, I can't test it though, and if it dies I won't jump you. And so he's like, so what would you want me to do? And she literally wouldn't help him until he went outside, and there was a random guy in a wife beater, had like messed up teeth. He's like, I thought the guy was homeless, but he came up to me and he's like, oh man, what's the problem? And he's like, I wanted to tell him like fuck off, but he started talking to him just by chance, and the random guy like just helped him fix the whole thing. Like literally went in there, got him the battery, changed the whole thing, and he was good to go. Didn't even work at the place.
He didn't even work at the place.
No, didn't even work at the place.
Oh my god, that's so nice.
Yeah, so that was like
Jersey.
Not everyone, no. Like he like pretended like he went in there like pretending like he owned the place. The guy is like, we need to help this guy Kyle out, and he like literally bought all these like the battery, and then they're like, oh, you have to take out the battery that's gonna charge you, and the guy just walked in with the battery. He goes, nope, I already did it.
That's hilarious.
No fucks given.
He just
Yeah,
waits out there all day to help someone.
Yeah, he
Oh,
definitely was 100%.
he's like, I know how to solve this problem.
Yeah,
I could do it.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Then he drops off his resume.
But you missed the gym. Point?
No, we ended up getting to the gym finally, but it was like 7 o'clock, and then we didn't get to like cheesecake until like probably 9:30, and then because of COVID, still they have like capacity limits, so we had to wait like another 30 minutes for that point to get in there. But I got my brown bread and I got my cheesecake. That's all I
I was
care
gonna
about.
say 30 minutes for Cheesecake Factory
Isn't bad.
nothing.
It's 6 hours in the Toronto one.
Yeah.
6 hours
or longer.
Well, it's the only one in Canada. And so
really?
the GTA is huge and it's like so heavily populated.
6 million people.
Yeah. So every time that you call, it's like they don't take reservations, right?
No, I don't think cheesecake does.
And then they'll tell you 8-hour wait, and you're like, what does that mean?
Yeah, like who's waiting for 7 hours?
If you go there, are people actually waiting?
We have never tried.
Oh,
We've driven by it once. Like it's in a mall too, which makes it even
But there
worse.
was people outside.
And there was
in
people
line.
like waiting kind of outside. The parking lot of the mall was flushed, and it was late at night. Like the mall was gonna close. So I was like, "Is this all cheesecake?" It's fucked.
I got to go there once for lunch though. No wait, and it was very good with Leah. It was so nice. It's my favorite restaurant.
I just love the brown bread.
Yeah, the brown bread's fucking good.
I love everything.
I know.
I'm never disappointed.
I go there a lot when I travel because it's consistent. You can get whatever you want.
It's so consistent.
There's so many options. There's there's obviously good dessert after. So like you literally can't go wrong. And then you get a side order of the sweet potato fries no matter what you get.
And they have good fries.
They have good fries.
Always good.
Yeah.
And they have big portions.
Yeah.
Well, that's America.
America.
Canada, they're like, here's your little chicken breast and 2 ounces of rice. Thanks.
No, it's like 4 ounces of rice and half an ounce of chicken.
Yeah.
That's what you get.
Yeah, but I even saw like what you posted the other day. I know yours is organic, but your chicken was like what, $20 a pound? That's crazy.
It's 15 a pound or 16 a pound or something.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. You can get cheaper at Costco. I didn't buy that shit.
Do they have organic at Costco?
They do, yeah. I don't think it's as good organic, like whatever the fuck the word organic means.
Yeah.
You know, that was Whole Foods prices, the $16 one.
Yeah.
So I didn't buy any chicken there.
I feel like for something like that, like I learned that when they say organic, that just means like a quarter of their field is organic, but they almost can ship it from any other part of the field.
It can mean like anything, yeah.
Like it's just so that when someone went there to go test whatever, that the area that they allowed them to test was organic, but sometimes they end up shipping just random shit.
Yeah. There's no actual regulations on the word organic.
No. It's
like,
more of a marketing term than it is anything.
Like there's one ketchup brand I get that's like a random thing and it's actually like organic and they talk about how they get it and they're like big like hippie brand, and there's Heinz organic ketchup, and it's just like the exact same ingredient list. It's just like organic sugar, organic tomatoes, like, and you're like, there's no way this is organic.
No,
Heinz doesn't give a fuck.
No, Heinz is a big enough name that they're like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I just have to put this on the label and some of our consumers will buy it.
Because true hippies only go to hippie stores, and the other people who are like, I'm gonna try my organic this week.
Yeah,
they're gonna go buy Heinz organic.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course, they're related to ketchup, but you know. So I want to think of my pit first. I don't think I have one again.
I feel like you had a good week though.
I did have a pretty good week. I had it. I guess Ian gave me a refeed, which was a peach, but then it took me a long time for my weight to come down, which was a pit. But I didn't look worse, which was a peach. So it was kind of back and forth. Like I put on some weight, but I got leaner. So I was like, did I just put on a pound of muscle or something? But my weight was like a pound higher than it was before my refeed, but I looked leaner and tighter. So I was like confused, but like, I guess it's a good thing I don't look worse. But yeah, I don't know.
You still get stressed about your weight though because of
my health.
Disease,
Well, as soon as my weight goes up at all, I'm like, fuck, like it's water. I touch my shins. I'm like, is it just water on me? Because the one time in 2018, I put on 15 pounds in a day, and that was fucked. But it's not happening. My shins are
just like as soon as you get up, like because you wear shorts and stuff everywhere. Like, what if you just put on like sweats or tights or something so you don't look at it?
Yeah.
Like if it's like out of sight, out of mind, it would help. But I feel like when you wear your shorts, you literally sit at the table and you just play like with your legs.
I know.
That's become like a nervous twitch though.
I have a lot of like nervous thing where like my hamstring, I touch my torn hamstring all the time now.
Yeah.
But I've gone through like phases in my mind. At the beginning of prep, I was like, I'm not going to touch my shins because I know I'm healthy and I know I don't need to. And then I tried to kind of be like, I'm going to check my shins, and if it's there, I'm going to deal with it, but it's probably not. I'm trying to be more realistic and just like prepared for it.
Yeah.
But I can't really deny it if it's there, you know? But I want to be like prepared for everything that happens. So
it's interesting that like you said that, because it's kind of like a weird thing when you're like in a good spot and you're worried that it's going to go away, because then as soon as like something slight happens, it's like, how do you deal with it? Do you like pretend it's not there and just like keep pushing? Do you acknowledge it and like ideally you would acknowledge it and mentally be able to like accept and keep doing what you can, like what's under your control? But like sometimes I think a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to feel the bad stuff. Like I'm not going to be stressed out and I'm not going to have a bad day. So I'm just going to like, whereas like, I think it's more powerful to like acknowledge and be like, okay, I'm stressed out. I feel like shit. I don't feel 100% confident today. And like, what can I do about it? You know, like it's...
No, that's what I've been trying a lot. I was 100% denial my whole life. It was always like, fuck, I did like, oh, put on pants, don't look at it, it's not there, don't touch your knees, don't, if it happens, just, and then it like creates anxiety and you know it's there. Whereas the other day when I had this kind of a subtle fear of it, I like stopped and I tried to approach it differently. And in my head, I would like trying to change my vocabulary. I was like, I am allowing myself to feel scared right now, but I'm choosing to not let that overcome me. And I'm just going to feel this right now and get over it. And that was like at nighttime, I felt like powerful feeling that.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up the next day and felt better. And
That's
it was, my shins had gone down and I just like felt more relaxed. So that was like...
That's like a huge shift in mindset.
It was a
like,
big
that's
change,
massive.
yeah.
You should be proud of yourself.
It felt good.
I mean, I think just like last year, like when you said you're in denial or whatever, but not maybe last year, more 2018, but like your subconscious obviously like is eating away at you.
Fucks with you.
Everything knows, and it shows up in really strange places too. Like it shows up in really weird places. It like seeps out of you.
Yeah.
And like usually it gets projected onto the wrong things, you know?
Yeah.
It makes me like just like anxious about everything.
Yeah.
Except the thing.
Yeah.
Which is not good. But yeah. I don't know if that was a peach or a pit or both. But my other peach is also related to two you mentioned, one being Mexico. I've never been, the only time I've been on one trip in my life somewhere warm, it was to Mexico when I was 11.
I think I was in grade...
I think I was 11 in 2006.
I was in grade 11.
Yeah, I was 11 years old. I didn't really enjoy it. So we're going to an adults only this time, fucking having a good time. So I'm excited for that. And other peach related to Matt is probably the biggest one was our successful clothing launch we did. As I'm wearing the ketchup shirt, Matt's wearing the hoodie right there. People were fired up about the hoodie quality too, because it's a sick fucking hoodie. And yeah, we ordered quite a lot of shit, and we were delayed on it. And I told people the Olympia stuff was coming out too, and it's still like sold out pretty much. Like the Savage shirts, you were just saying you have like a handful left. So that's really exciting because that's something me and Matt want to kind of like build out on a lot more, and something we were delayed on because of COVID and everything. And this was like our comeback to it, and it worked fucking perfectly. It's been a week and we sold out more than we kind of expected. So that's a huge peach and accomplishment for both of us, I guess.
Definitely appreciate everyone.
Yeah, we definitely
just the support. I mean, like it's cool to see. Like it's almost like we want to kind of create like the same like community aspect like that we have like with the app and everything through the Facebook. But I think like everyone's kind of taken on that savage word to like a whole new meaning, which is kind of just like cool to see then when people are like wearing it. And I mean, it gives it different, like I said, different meaning to like wearing the shirt. And like when I wear it, like I feel the same way, you know?
It's like, yeah, people just love the word and they hashtag it and use it. It's like a little community of savages, you know?
It's also like pretty cool to see people like walking around, you know, when you know what I mean? Like in your shit. Like every time I see someone wearing something that like either was created by Christopher or Ian, I'm like, oh my God, this is like really, I don't know, it's crazy. It's kind of like, holy shit.
When I travel like into the States and see it, I'm always like, I'm the more Americans that buy than Canadian. But for me, when I leave and I see someone like that Favage shirt was the gray one was the biggest for sure.
Yeah.
It's the most of an item that we've sold, and seeing that around, I was like, every time I point at someone, I'm like,
Yeah.
I think
It's
that's the
cool.
coolest part. Like when you see someone and then like you have like that instant like connection with that person, and like you just like go over and talk to them, you know?
Yeah. It's funny. I saw a guy in Ottawa too, and he was wearing one, and he didn't even look at me or talk to me. The whole wearing a hoodie, the whole workout, he didn't look at me at all. He didn't look at me at all. Like 45 minutes goes by, he takes off his hoodie and wearing the Favage shirt. I'm like, man, nice shirt. He's like, thanks, man. And he didn't want to talk to me at all. But there were like four people in the
You're
gym.
probably so intimidating to people like that, though. You need to understand.
I guess.
Like, can you imagine like following someone like this and like buying their shirts and like watching them like on YouTube and then seeing them in real life
just
and
walking to your gym.
going up to them and being like, hey, what's up, dude? Like that would never happen.
Just like, look at his shirt.
That's what I would do. I'd be like, you know, but like that's not.
Yeah, no, I
especially
wouldn't
for
say anything.
especially for guys.
Yeah,
like,
no,
come on.
you're right. I wouldn't say anything either.
Yeah.
I'd probably be too embarrassed to even take my hoodie off.
Maybe
Even wear
maybe
the
that's why he
shirt.
wore it for so long. He was
I
like,
probably would
"Damn."
never take it off, honestly. I'm like, I don't want him to see him wearing your shirt, even though I like him. Stupid.
I think it's cool. But that's what we're going to talk about today is like business shit and how you started and where you want to go. Because I feel like young Christopher couldn't even have a conversation when he was on camera.
Not a
It was funny. Like, I mean, I was at like his first couple like video shoots, and like it's just funny to me that he has now the YouTube channel, like even like the podcast, and like even when he has to go do things just for like Jack Factory and all these other ones, or Jim Shark when he does the motivational videos. It's just funny how quickly I guess words come to him now, and it's like you would think he like planned what he was going to talk about, you know, and it's usually like off the cusp and everything. So it's just cool to see how he went from this like I think what you're like 1920 when you first started like those videos like with MHP and stuff.
I think I was 20.
20, yeah.
21.
Well, because your birthday is early in the year.
Yeah, I might have been 21. I remember that first time going. Did we shoot with Ludwig the first time? Was that his name?
Yeah, Ludwig.
In that gym upstairs. I still remember sitting on a table surrounded by a bunch of punching bags or someone. And this was it Mike? It's Mike, right?
Mike Posnell, yeah.
MHP.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Not like I don't know who the fuck you're
He knows exactly.
Now he does.
I'm pulling out random first names. Yes, remember.
Yeah.
But I remember sitting on this table and him putting the camera on. He had like a little thing he had me say specifically.
Yeah.
And I fucked it up like, I don't know, like a bunch of times. And I was just like embarrassed.
Yeah,
it was just
you
like
screw something up and then you have to do it again. And
it gets harder every single time.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
you're sweating.
I still do that.
Like Chris, you have noticed is someone that if you say, "Oh, hey, this is what you have to," like if you tell him like, "Oh, hit on these points," in most cases he freezes up and he needs someone to like sit in front of him. If you literally just say, "Oh, hey," just go like mention like random topics and like let him flow with it, he's so much better at just doing that and like speaking from like his heart in a sense, you know.
Yeah, when we were trying to do something for the app, that was a hard one. I was really uncomfortable. We're in a giant warehouse and there was a camera crew of 8 people with a fucking movie camera on me and lights everywhere, and I'm sitting on this thing in this quiet warehouse, and they're all like, okay, go. And they were like, talk about this point, like 5 points, and I was like, and I like couldn't do it.
Yeah, but this is what I find interesting, that like businesses or people with experience like do that and expect it to be normal. I even remember Ian's first A&S shoot in Vancouver, and it was the same thing. Like we were in a quiet, like empty gym, no music, nothing, and they're like, okay, train intensely, smile, laugh, and I was like, are you fucking kidding? So I think I spent 6 hours there, and I was literally just like in the background of the photographer, like making funny faces or telling him what to do, like, you know what I mean, like almost like interacting with him, because I was like, you can't expect someone to produce good like content and natural shit when you're like, okay, go, and you're just like, it's gross.
I know.
I don't like
it. It's so
it.
difficult.
I think Chris was like, "Can you pull up a chair and just sit in front of me?"
Just sit there and ask me
Yeah.
questions and cut it after.
Yes.
Whereas like sometimes like with Jack Factories, they'll be like, all right, go film this video like after one of your sets, say what you like about one of the products, you know? And if it's just that or something, and then I finish my workout, I'm like warm, comfortable, the loud gym, and then I just get to say whatever the fuck I want about anything I want, I can just do it, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm not like trying to remember and think what's saying between and shit. I'm still not great at speaking, but I've gotten better at least.
You are when you get rolling.
When I get
You know what
rolling, yeah.
You're very good.
Like, I mean, I remember sending it to you. There was like a muscle and strength video you did at it was like a fast food one that you most recently did. I remember watching it. Like, there was like different things where they didn't have certain things to order and this and that. And like normal people, like I'm like, I don't know how he's continuing to still go after like literally being shut down like 4 times in a row. Like you just continue to keep flowing with the conversation. And I was like, oh, I mean, like that to me like was impressive. But I think like what a lot of people ask you about like starting a YouTube or this or that, like you weren't great in the beginning, but I think they forget how much like practice in a sense that kind of goes into, like you did it just on the fly, just creating the videos, and I think that's good. Like I always told people, like record yourself in your car just speaking, like get used to like talking out loud without having anybody in the room, because honestly like that's I think the hardest part is not talking to someone specifically, but in reality you're talking to like thousands of people, you know.
Yeah, you've always said that to me, and I was always like I don't know, I felt too stupid to do it for no reason. But the longer I have been doing it, I understand that would have helped me so much. And not only just for the practice of it, but when you watch yourself back and you see yourself, how you say certain words, certain long sentences, or like move your hands or don't move your hands, when you see it and you're like, ooh, that's awkward, you don't do that. Or we see, oh, I liked when I did that, you'll do it again, you know? And like you said, record yourself doing shit, watch it back, get used to hearing your own voice, because that fucking sucks.
That's the hardest part.
Everyone hates hearing their own voice.
Don't even talk
on camera. It took me 2 years of YouTube to not like mute it when I'm listening to myself. I don't even listen. I just cut it when like the sound drops pretty much for a while. But when you get used to that and you see yourself on camera a lot, it gets so much easier, because you're like, fuck, like I've seen it before. I know how to not look stupid, and yeah,
I
still feel stupid.
I can't watch it or listen.
No,
I'll do it fine and just like pretend I didn't do it and just like ignorant. I don't need to see it. Or like what was Ian watching the other day? Fuck. It was something that I posted that I was speaking in, and he kept watching it on a loop. And I was like, can you turn the goddamn sound off? Because if I have to hear my annoying voice one more time, I'm going to shoot myself. And he was like, I didn't even notice. And I was like, oh my God, I can't stand it. I don't know. I feel like that's something that like I'll never be okay with.
it's worse around other people too. Like
Yeah,
even
it's like cringe.
someone's like listening to you and like, turn that off. Don't watch that while I'm here. But like you're like, my voice sounds stupid. I'm like, does your voice sound like it sounds like?
Yeah, so it always sounds stupid.
Yeah, that always sounds stupid. Like fuck.
Oh God.
That's the worst too is in the beginning of my YouTube day, people would comment A about my lisp a lot, and B they said I sounded like I was deaf. They're like, you talk like you're deaf. That's what people said to me.
But is that because of your lips?
I think I just have a little bit of a strange voice, and my lisp too, maybe a little bit, but I remember people saying that, and I was like, and that's how when I hear myself, I was like, I sound like I'm stupid. I sound like I'm deaf. And someone commented, I'm like, fuck, that's true.
It's true.
And then I'm like, whatever, fuck it. If you sound like an idiot, then as long as people will still watch it.
But I remember someone even commented on like one of your recent videos or something. I forget where it was. They asked like if you went to like speech therapy and this and that, like since you like got into the industry. And I truly believe like you just speaking on camera more and more probably has helped your lisp.
Yeah, 100%. Like because I did go to speech therapy when I was like 6 or 8. I don't know. I was really young, and it didn't help me at all because my tongue is just too big for my mouth. My tongue sits over all my teeth when I relax. I can't close my teeth, so it just like hangs out and creates a lisp. But I think the more I've been talking, it's gotten a little better. But as soon as I say the word lisp, I say it with a lisp. Now I can't say anything after. It gets worse. It just gets worse and worse and worse.
Some words that he says, I've actually like, I'm sorry, I'm
like,
unaware of what you're saying.
Yeah.
I can't think of the words right now, but there's certain words that when they come, I'm like, did you mean this or this? And then he says it again. I'm like, Still not getting it.
if I have a sentence with a th and an s back to back, I'm fucked. Like it's hard. So then I'm like, wait, how do you do each sound? Like I have to think about it.
I think it's very endearing. I like it.
I mean, we made some shirts out of it. So
Yeah, I think it's amazing.
that's all that matters.
I think anything that.
But I think like what's cool about that, like again, the shirt with like Thavage is like for anyone who does have a lisp, I think just like you've owned it in a sense. So it kind of just shows like those other people to like kind of own it and like just own who you are. And I think that's also part of the reason why it like has become something that's like more than what it is, you know?
For sure. Even people without a lisp, it's like it's still slightly is, but not really much like an insecurity of mine. I was pretty embarrassed of it.
Yeah.
People commented that shit. I was like, oh, like fuck, I'm not making a YouTube video, you know?
Yeah.
And it kind of represents like saying fuck you to something you're insecure about, owning it, and then no one gives a fuck.
I also find it's like sometimes people like, I don't know, list whatever things that are different. Like people don't like things that like make them feel uncomfortable, or like if they start to feel like bad for you, you know what I mean? Like dad has a stammer. So dad won't be able to get a word out. And then like people will be like, so they'll be uncomfortable when he can't get a word out. And then it'll make it worse. The word won't come out. But it's like, if you just own it, the other people feel more comfortable. And then it's just like normal, you know? Because at the end of the day, I guarantee you, like everyone has multiple things that they're probably thinking about. Or like if someone has food on their face and you're just like, oh my God, there's something in there, and I'm not going to say anything and I'm so uncomfortable. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that same vibe. Whereas like, I'd be like, yo, you got something. I'd like cut someone off and be like, yo, there's something on your face. You know what I mean?
Shit in your teeth.
People just don't like being uncomfortable, I think, too.
No, not at all. No,
but even like acts like just being on camera, I think the hardest part people don't realize is it also depends on who's also filming you. If you're not doing like a vlog type of thing, like the person filming you can make it like really awkward, like you said, with people just shoving stuff in your face or whatever. So it is like good to find someone who knows how to like make a natural conversation but know how to cut it in a sense to where it's just that person speaking, like similar like to what Dan Drescher does. I think he's probably one of the better. I think the weirdest part for us is last time we saw him, we forgot the aspect of when he goes and films people, they're not as friendly in a sense, where they're like, okay, if he has to go do a day in the life, he films them for like 30 minutes. And then that person's like, okay, like get out of my house and come back in 3 hours. Meanwhile, like when we're with him, we're just like, yo, go hang out, like do whatever you want to do. Like if you want to stay here, we got food. Yeah. And like we forgot there's like that aspect of like for these content creators where there's that awkward like, okay, like I'm gonna do my life now, can you get out? And then he has to come back every 3 hours to record them for something. So I mean he's really good at just talking, and from an interview perspective, I think number one, because he's interested in what you have to say, but he also is just like very like he pieces it together before he actually films it. So there's already like a plan mapped out type of thing that he's going for.
Yeah. His is 100% how it, like when he talks to me and asks me a question, I actually feel like he's like just curious and I'm like telling him. He's like, Chris, tell me about this. Like, well, and he's like, wait, so like this happened? And he'll like ask further into it. And I'm like, seriously feel like he wants to know. And I'm like just telling him instead of like explaining to someone who doesn't exist. And that's like I did 2 interviews in like the last month or so. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but like one that was really bad with Generation Iron. The one dude, Vlad, tries to like play it cool and like really solemn and so like, so Chris, tell me about your feelings going to last year's Olympia. And it's just like, and he won't laugh, and I'll try and make a joke, and he'll just be like, and it's just so uncomfortable. And I begin to like sweat and feel awkward. And I did an interview with David Bay, and he was just like shooting the shit. He's like laughing at shit, making jokes.
David Bay's a beauty.
He's a beauty. He's such a beauty. He's awesome. He's a great interviewer because he's just funny and laughing.
Yeah.
And that makes it way easier in the aspect of interviews, at least.
Yeah,
it changes everything. I can go from a shitty interviewee to a great one, depending on who's doing the questions.
And it's like it's hard to come back from one where it's the interviewer just doesn't make it flow, you know.
Yeah.
It just once you hit there's like that certain point, there's like no coming back from it.
Yeah.
Like right now.
Like right now.
I'm a terrible interviewer.
Brutal.
So You made the shirts?
Yeah, where
What's
are
the
we going
first
with
shirt
this?
you ever made? I want to know. How did the clothing start? Like, when was this?
2018 Olympia was the
2018,
first one
yeah,
we did.
Olympia.
And what was it, like an Olympia shirt? Why don't I remember this?
You don't remember? This was fucking. I had some printed really quick, and then Matt had some printed a little bit after in Jersey, and the ones we had in Canada. Would you remember?
Was it cursive?
Yeah, on the front there was a little cursive, but
Black
it had
and white and red?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember.
Yeah, and we did them with Jerry.
Yeah.
Me and Ian both did it
Yeah,
that year, I think.
Yeah,
And we packaged it in your living room. And then
Yes.
we didn't have a system like Shopify or anything. So people would DM me, PayPal me money, DM me their address and size. And then I had to like write it all or type it all out on the computer, print it out on the sticker on a normal printer, cut the sticker, put it on and make sure I had the right size and everything. It was just all by hand. It's a horrible thing to do.
that was like there was no thought to that one at all. Like that one literally was just like one week.
That's what Ian wanted to do this year.
Oh, for
Pitch that again?
He was like, oh, we'll just do it through it. I'm like, I'm fucking starting a Shopify for you. Like, this is not happening again. And he was like, oh, okay, I guess. He was just gonna like pay Dylan to do it the hard way. I was like, I'm doing this and I'm doing it properly and it's gonna be amazing. I also was like, I want to write like a note in people's things, you know what I mean? Like I want it to be like more personal than like Dylan doing it, where like I care about it.
Yeah.
But side note, you have to teach me how to use Shopify because I don't know.
Matt's the expert.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do like a Zoom call with me because
Yeah.
I was like putting in the sizes on Shopify and I was like, oh my god, this is like, it's probably not as complicated as I think it is, but it looks complicated right now.
Well, I think that's like the biggest thing. There's so many avenues that you can get into now from a business standpoint that I think people don't even like realize. Like obviously like people see like this whole drop shipping thing and everything else like that, but like the actual like margins in it and if you actually make money is like not that great when it comes from like China. Like right now it's hard to get things imported and then your lead times are like really bad.
About drop shipping. I don't even know.
So drop shipping is essentially like if you were to go on to like Alibaba or like a place like that and you were to like get them they'll essentially ship out all your stuff from there, but you're getting it on like you're paying nothing for it essentially. But like by the time you're like getting all the shipping costs and the lead times, when someone say if you want to get like trying to think a mug or something and you think like, oh, I'm going to put something on there, that manufacturer could either drop ship it and send it out themselves, or they can send it, they create it and they can send it to like, it's called Amazon FBA, like their warehouses, and the Amazon will just sell it. So you never actually have product in your hand. It literally just goes straight to the customer, but it could take like 3-4 weeks now because of COVID and everything. So it's kind of screwing people if you don't have actual inventory in hand. It's just
very nice to the customer.
It's just it's advertising so much.
Yeah, that's kind of like, I mean, I'm a bit of a control freak, but I don't think that would ever be okay with me.
No, and that's why I think that's why a lot of people, they did well for it for a while, but then everyone started like catching on. Like a lot of people that you see on Amazon, they'll try and find whatever, they'll just literally go copy a product that's already done in China. They don't even put any different branding on it. Like they literally just get the same product shipped to here and then they just sell it as their own, which is just, again, it's more of a money grab than an actual like.
Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of like fashion brands on Instagram that do that, and I like my girlfriends will send them to me and I'll look and I'll be like, how are you coming out with like all these like different styles, and like there's no way that you're designing all of these things, you know what I mean? And like talking to the like manufacturer and choosing your fabric, like where is this coming from? And like, I don't know, that's just like, that wouldn't be satisfying to me as like the brand owner. You know what I mean? Like that's not that, and it's not fun. Like
sometimes you start with similar shit and stuff, like not doing custom made everything so you can get money to do it and grow from there. But yeah, like the Alibaba thing, we'd go on there, I'd see companies that I know, like fitness brands that I know, and I'd see the exact shirt, just no logo on it. Like I like weird like Golden Aesthetics type stuff where you know it's their shirt with how it's cut, and it's the exact thing just there, and it's just like minimum order quantity 500, price this, and you can just order them.
Wow.
And it's just like exactly what he did and printed on,
Wow.
But that's often how you start.
Yeah.
like
It's a
the
little
problem
different.
I think like the problem like what we've had like getting into it is we've always wanted like I've always looked at it, if I'm not going to wear it, or like if Chris doesn't like wearing it, I would never sell something that I myself wouldn't like to wear as far as comfort, you know? So, or like the quality of it. So that's why I think when we go through ours, we try to pick like the best quality that we can, because at the end of the day, if I'm going to have shirts and stuff, I'm going to want to wear it myself. I would never ask somebody else like, oh, hey, would you buy this shirt or something? And it becomes like a rag to wash your car. Like that's literally the dumbest thing I think. Like, or even if you like give away shirts, if you're gonna do it as like an advertising thing, I almost see if you just put say $1,000 into shirts of that are like $2 shirts of shitty quality, that shirt's never gonna be worn whether you gave it for free or not. But if you just went to like a different, like a higher quality shirt that costs more, that person will now wear that shirt for years to say like the gym or out casual, like to whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I hear that for sure. I'm the type of person that like I would rather pay more money for something that like
100%.
is legit than pay half of what I paid and it's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Or you wear it, you wash it once and then you're like, I don't like it anymore, basically,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
That's again where it's hard when you're starting off and you're like coming out of nowhere, and like these hoodies that we got were like, we wanted like champion, like the elite champion style thickness, like really
Reverse
quality,
sleeve.
like this shit. Like I'm always like, what's my thickest hoodie? What can I wear to the gym right now? And I'm like, that's what I want to sell. And so it's like, so it's expensive as fuck for us to buy, and we're like, we're not going to make as much money off this, because coming out from a brand new, not even really a brand, just selling my own shit, people aren't going to buy a $90 hoodie, even though that's what it would cost if it were a champion one, you know, or anyone else using this exact hoodie would cost $100.
Yeah.
But we haven't established that yet. So
The
we have to
brand
kind of
isn't established
take a hit on the profit margin if you want quality. But when you're establishing, like, we're using quality for long term, and then when you kind of build into even better shit, people are like, okay, well, they can expect high quality. They have the trust in you, and then that's when you can start selling it for more and getting even better shit, just like climbing higher and higher, you know. But if you start shitty and you ruin, people order it and like, this sucks, I'm never ordering again.
I've had multiple experiences with like, because let's be serious, like especially with COVID, it's all online shopping now.
Mm-hmm.
All of it. I've had multiple experiences where I've paid and shit's not cheap, and then I get it in and I'm like, you're joking, right? Like, I know what I can, for sweatpants, for example. I love to wear sweatpants. I know what kind of sweatpant I can get for $70, $80 Canadian. And if I spend that and get like Walmart cotton, I'm like, you're joking. Like, but you get sucked in by like the marketing and the advertising and like the cool posts and all these things. So yeah, you definitely need to like work your way up to.
I mean, and there's a lot of people that like they have money that a lot of people don't know about, where you can essentially go give away like half your business and they'll literally run everything and they don't ask you to do a thing. So they'll take away half your business. They'll do all the designs. They'll do all the shipping. They're the ones answering the customer service. They're the ones doing your Shopify site. And at the end of the day, I think what's the hardest part about that is, like you said earlier, you almost want to be in control of those things. Like that's more, I think, fulfilling to us to be able to say like, oh, that's what we did, you know, and stuff like that. Because once you give that away, once you give it away, I feel like it's not your brand anymore.
Yeah. Matt's saying that from the heart too, because we almost did something like that.
Yeah.
We were like we were looking at all our options, and something came along and it seemed like this perfect idea. And we were like just going with it, and all of a sudden we both took a moment and like he asked me, I asked him, it was just like, do you want to do this, or do you want to like take another extra like probably 3 years longer to establish exactly what they can do 6 months, but do it our way and do it all the work ourselves? And we both were straight up just like, fuck yeah, let's do it ourselves. Let's do the long route and be more invested in it personally. And I think that what you said, that example of like people just take your money and they do everything for you, is what most influencers do right now. Especially all these people you see coming out with their own brand, but just the Instagram pictures of the stuff.
Yeah.
If that's all they're showing, that's probably all they're doing.
Yeah.
Look at someone like Christian Guzman, who fucking printed his own shirts and has grown the way he has and did it all literally himself. He documents it because that's what he's proud of. Yep. He's not so much just proud of the end product. He's proud of the process that he did all himself. And it's always going to be like that. And I bet you anything he gets a hell of a lot more joy out of fucking Alpha Elite, Alpha Land, and everything he's building than the other person who just paid someone else to do it for them, and they're essentially just an influencer for their own brand, you know.
I think like then when you do stuff like that, I think more politics in a sense, kind of like maybe not actual politics, but like politics come into play because now you have different like hands in the pot. So like they almost want to now do it this way when that might not be what the direction of the brand that you thought or wanted it to go in, you know? So when you do something like that, like you said, you lose your sense of why you originally started the brand to begin with.
100%, yeah. Yeah, you want to have fucking totalitarian control. Totalitarian? That's the word I'm thinking of? Dictatorship of your own company. Whatever the word is.
Is that like
Run the ship.
Is that where you want to end up? Like, is that where you see yourself? Like Alpha Leaf, like a brand like that?
I mean, if we could get that size, that would be nice.
Yeah.
But that definitely different concept of his brand.
No, I don't. I'm not talking about like the concept and the style and that. I'm talking about the like end vision for the business.
Yeah, I would say so. Yes. I mean, yes. I feel like I'm still thinking,
well,
maybe
no,
not because I'm talking out loud. But.
Also, sometimes people are scared to be like, yes, that's what I want, because it's like, oh, I'm in the back of your mind, you're like, I'll probably never be that big, you know what I mean? But the point of a vision is to be it's your ideal, which like you're allowed to say what it is and not know 100% that you're going to reach it, right?
For sure. Yeah, no, we are going to do it. Me and Matt have spoken a lot about this, and it's going to take us, like I said, longer than it would any other way, because we want to do it fucking right and make it really cool. I think one of my favorite things about myself and my brand is like the connection and like investment I have with my own community, very personal with people, and like the shit, like I understand what the fuck people want, and I understand what's shitty. And being in the industry now and being part of companies and stuff, I can see the good and the bads. I hear everything from people, and it's like everything is so easily fixable that I hear that's bad. I'm like, that's stupid. Why is this a problem, Mr. Company? Fix it. And it's like almost exciting that I feel like that. And when we start our own thing, we can avoid all that bullshit and fucking literally like fuck money at the beginning, just customer first, and just make something fucking really cool.
Yeah.
Drop it.
The dog's eating shit back.
Drop it. Oh, disgusting.
He's a savage.
Savage. Yeah.
Douglas? Pause. Okay, so we just had a minor interruption. After Doug almost swallowed the bone, he went running downstairs, and Poppy is very territorial of her food. So he went near the bowl, I think, and then...
No, he just like dived into the plate because it's on a fucking plate. He dove into the plate and then the food went everywhere. And he starts eating it, and then all you hear is Poppy like, ah! And then I walk downstairs and Poppy's like sitting there shaking, watching Doug just eat all the food. And she has a bleeding lip.
Oh.
So he attacked her.
He's a He's also twice her size. I feel so bad, but yeah. So now I'm like worried about it, but that's okay.
Yeah. So we gotta go take care of these crazy dogs. So I think that's how we're gonna wrap this one up. Bit of a sudden ending, but I think we got our points across. More chatting of history and making fun of how bad I was on camera, but I mean, that's interesting too.
your growth as a person,
yeah.
And if like you guys want to hear more about like a business type aspect or like specifics of anything, just let us know down below, and like we can always get into that more.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't done a Q&A in a while.
Yeah,
so it can be Q&A. If you have a bunch of questions related to anything I said, didn't touch on, make sure you put them below, and we'll probably put in our stories too, asking for more questions. So put them in there too.
Yep.
And put Poppy in your prayers.
Pray for Poppy. That's the next T-shirt we're gonna make. Pray for Poppy.
Oh, yeah. Okay, bye guys.
That's a wrap.
Bye.